Production of consumer goods is a mechanical industry we are all reliant on. One major innovation in this field is 3D printing. 3D printing is turning conventional manufacture on its head, improving the lives of Albertans by allowing them to produce and use functional goods in the comfort of their own home, as well as indirectly by lowering prototyping costs for companies, resulting in a slightly more affordable product for the consumer. We will be looking at the innovation of 3D printing as a whole in relation to the mechanical process of manufacture, in specific, how accessible it is to the regular Albertan, impacts on health in Alberta, economy, and current innovations in 3D printing itself. You might be thinking 3D printing is fun and all, but how will you find designs you want to print? Luckily, there are online databases with tons of files ready to be printed. Want a one-handed bottle opener? No problem. Okay, you want a slightly more practical good that you would traditionally buy? No worries. Here's a set of very practical measuring cups. And luckily for you, PLA is the most common plastic for printing, and it's entirely food safe. So, just how easy is it to download a file? Well, this is a nice vase. Let's use it as an example. A couple hours later, and this is what the vase looks like on the printer. And then here is the final product. Okay, sure, that's a nice vase, and 3D printing is definitely an innovation in the manufacturing process. However, I'm a regular Albertan. I don't own my own 3D printer. How is this even applicable to me? Well, just so you know, there are online services devoted to connecting you with local 3D printers. For instance, Edmonton has over 77 3D printing services available. Calgary has over 75. Being that the sum of both Edmonton and Calgary's population is over half of all Alberta's, that means that half of all Albertans have access to a 3D printer in their hometown. So yes, that's a very significant portion, and 3D printing is directly applicable to most Albertans today. "3D printing has brought a number of innovations in health, one of which being is 3D printed prosthetics. This is an article from the Calgary Herald posted January 1st, 2016. It is about a man named Colin who has his own 3D printing company based out of Calgary. They've been 3D printing prosthetics for a fraction of the cost of a traditional prosthetic today. Okay, so 3D printing is an innovative manufacturing process, but 3D printing itself is somewhat old and not innovative itself. So what's a current 3D printing innovation? Well, that would be color mixing or filament mixing. That's when you have multiple filaments being fed into a single nozzle or melt zone. This allows for your different properties of filaments to be all combined together to form the final print. You could, for instance, have one green, one blue, one yellow filament entering, and then being able to control the exact color output of the final part. This process of fabricating full-colored three-dimensional objects was patented on September 6, 2016. A more functional use of filament mixing is combining filaments of different properties, such as one stiff and one flexible, allowing the designer to select the rigidity of individual elements on the print. This is an example print of an RC truck tire. It clearly shows the advantages of using flexible filaments in 3D printing. Another example of filament mixing is that of using a PVA-based support material that is water-soluble. Support material is used for complex overhangs and geometries in 3D printing. However, conventional supports are hard to remove. The advantage of using a filament mixing process is that you can use the PVA water-soluble support. This simply dissolves in water after the print is finished. This is an example of a standard filament mixing nozzle used today. Okay, so filament mixing is definitely an innovation in 2016 that happened with 3D printing. However, is it used in Alberta? Well, simply put, yes. How do I know? Because I've played with it on my own, albeit with limited success. Economy. 3D printing gives consumers access to goods they'd otherwise buy. Sometimes printing these goods in-house is cheaper than going to the store and buying them. For instance, this is a personal example from my bedroom. I've printed these curtain rod holders. They are about half the cost of buying them in store, with the advantage of being these ones were the exact right size that I needed. In conclusion, it is clear that 3D printing is on the rise and currently accessible to Albertans, each day having a larger impact on our daily lives in a variety of ways. Have a good day.